Alright, so waking up here in Covington, Virginia this morning. I guess Brian and Jordan technically finished section 2. Pete finished it a little early, jumping out. I probably finished half, 3/4 of it before I jumped off. Mainly because, and I kind of touched on this yesterday, I had two issues with yesterday's riding. One, basically no scenery. Two, very repetitive. That said, we're going to start on section 3 today. Definitely going to ride that all the way, not just section 3, but ride the BDR all the way home today. Then I'm going to decide whether or not I want to continue after that or go ride something else the rest of the weekend. Anyway, I'm going to show you guys the bikes because I realize I haven't really done that and going over what we've got going on. And then I'm going to find some Monster or something to wake up this morning. Alright, so I guess we'll start out with mine. It's a 2008 KTM 990 Adventure. You can tell it was got plenty of dust and dirt and mud on it yesterday. Next up, we've got Pete's V-Strom 650. We did some back in the garage videos on it a while back. He's got it outfitted with crash bars. Everything's holding up good on it. So anyway, and I forget what year this one is, but I guess 2012 model it looks like. Brian's on a 2020 1290 Super Adventure R. Pretty much stock at this point. A couple little bolt-on parts. Obviously, he changed out the pegs, the skid plate on there. It's got some rocks riser bars, but otherwise pretty much stock. I'll show you Jordan's bike last. So Jordan's been riding this Indian Roadmaster. Obviously, he cleaned it up. Just kidding. He's riding this KTM 790 Rally. I can't remember if it was was it a 2020 maybe? Don't quote me on that, but I believe it's a 2020. He's got all sorts of upgrades on this thing, plus what came on it upgraded from the factory. So he's been having a good time on it. Taking off here on, I guess, day 2 of the trip, if you want to call it that. First item up, these guys all need gas because they came in on fumes last night, so we're going to find a gas station. So the 990 sprung a leak, I think, on the bleeder, and I'm already on low brake pads on the rear, so I'm gonna head home and get it fixed. So we noticed that front brake was leaking a little bit this morning. Tried to tighten everything up. Now it seems to be leaking even worse, so I'm gonna follow these guys out to the next turn point at 39 or 38, I already forgot. And then I'm going to head east and go over and pick up 42, head up through Stanton. I got probably right around 2.5, maybe 2 hours, 45 minutes to get back to my house. See if we can get this thing fixed. We shall see. But I will not be completing section 3 today, or 4 of which I've ridden 99% of. Yeah, we just missed that turn. Jordan and I are really good at navigating this thing. Maybe I can get enough dirt packed in the bleeder that it'll stop leaking. Alright, so we did ride one more section off-road with those guys. They're going to turn right here and go ride that. Pete's going to come along with me because he's got a couple of maintenance items he'd like to take care of on his bike, specifically since his crash yesterday. So we've got, I'm not going to take the most direct route, but two, and I said it earlier, about the same amount of distance to get home, 2.5 hours, something like that. So I'm just going to have to monitor this master cylinder up front here. If it gets low on brake fluid, I'm just going to have to fill it up, stop and get some, and then see if we can get a bleeder screw or get it cleaned up, or we'll figure it out. So we saw these rain clouds ahead. I didn't think it was calling for anything today. It is starting to spit a little bit, and you can tell a little dark where we're at now. I think once we get another 15 miles east of here, it should lighten back up, but might get caught in a little bit of rain here. It'd be nice if these guys would speed up just a tad. So Pete and I just stopped in here at Blue Ridge Power Sports, hoping to find another bleeder screw so we can replace the one on my front brake caliper, and I could use some rear brake pads too. Guys were really helpful, actually a really nice shop. Unfortunately, did not have what I needed, so called over to my good buddies at JT's. They asked how the ride was going, and when I started asking for parts, they put two and two together. So they do have rear pads in. Does not look like they have the bleeder in, but I'm just gonna pull it out when I get home, see if we can't match something up. So anyway, we got about an hour to get back to my house. We're planning on just slabbing it up 81 for time purposes. That'll give us enough time to get back. We'll grab a little something to eat, get this bleeder pulled, and head over to JT's and see what we can get done this afternoon. So trip's not totally over yet. Looks like Pete has dual exhaust on that bike because he's got that gas can on there. So my what is this guy doing? Thank you. My low fuel light kicked on, so we just stopped here. God, I don't even know where we are. We're near New Market. Anyway, just stopped here at Sheets, top off the tank. We're good for the rest of the way home. I might make a stop along the way. I just had an idea of a way we might be able to find a part for this thing. So we got the bleeder fixed. I think it was just some dirt and crap down in there, which I'm kind of happy about. I stopped in at John Ross's there, Race ADV. Might have been a pro off-road rider there getting some training in, but I won't divulge his secret. So anyway, about 25 minutes from my house, we're gonna head back there, change into some street clothes, go find some food, and head over to JT's, get the other couple little parts we need for mine and Pete's bike, and have a little bit of a back in the garage session, I suppose. Alright, so we're back here at the house, got the necessary parts we needed from JT's, got the bike set up over here. We're going to go ahead and get them sprayed off since we've got time to do it and they're covered in crap. Also got some bad news from the other boys. Jordan's 790 is done.
Alright, so it's not looking good. Jordan's dumping fuel. Jordan's dumping oil out of his bike. Following the trail here. Looks like it. I don't see it anymore, so not looking good. He was the navigator. We don't have any self-service. Luckily, we got one running bike. Not sure exactly what happened. I mean, he's got a massive skid plate on there. I don't see where he hit anything. And we were just on a road section. It doesn't look like we're gonna finish the MABDR at all. We were about 134 miles into section 3. Of course, no service here. I think there's a town a little bit closer up. I mean, I guess the only good news is we are along a road versus being way up in the mountain trail somewhere. But I think that will end our trip. Jordan's gonna have to figure out a way to get the bike back. So he said he heard a loud noise right around here. Looks like. So right around that Cycle Works sign, and then you can see the trail of oil here. Right by that Cycle Works sign, there's a huge, like something blue and just sprayed there. It's right at that white sign is where it's just a one big puddle, and then there's a trail to here. All right, you good?
I'm a scared little bitch.
All right, so it looks like we're riding nut to butt. 2.5 hour ride home. At least the Jordan's home, and then I'll bring the truck back. But luckily we got it to a real safe spot. Super nice guy. Allowed us to keep the bike there. I guess it's one thing to just make sure you don't ride alone. So I'm not sure what this means for the rest of the trip. Jordan was the navigator. I don't think Mario was going to continue. He wasn't having as much fun, so this might be the end of the MABDR, and I'll take another stab at it once I get kind of my own GPS and get another group together. But we're going to go ahead and hammer out these miles, get over to 81, and then just the boring 2.5 hour ride home.
So I think he dropped it off somewhere near Brandywine. Him and Brian, I wish I had some footage and photos, are riding his Brian's 1290 2 up back to their home. So anyway, we're gonna get these things cleaned up. I'm gonna get some new brake pads put on the back of mine. Got everything squared away with the bleeder. We've got some slight adjustments to do to Pete's bike, and then mine's also missing a bolt on the what do you call them, saddle, or I guess pannier frame. So probably go up and source one at Lowe's here in a little bit. So I gotta make sure Pete doesn't break my pressure washer over here. I'm not real sure how smart this is, letting Pete work on my bike because he's drinking beer, but we did get a couple of bolts.
I just started.
Yeah, just started his third. I did get a couple of bolts so we can get these bag racks back on here because I don't know what happened to that bolt. So you never know who's going to show up. Rusty's here. Tyler's out here with his 1290. We put new tires on.
Last week with Mike, I didn't kill him. Thought about leaving him in North Carolina.
He emailed me.
Tennessee.
I got to talk to him though.
Yeah.
We put new tires on Tyler's bike. I don't think we ever put the right air pressure in, so we're working on that right now. He's not riding with us this weekend. Tyler's going to run the National Enduro, so I'll be sure to post his results at the end of the video so you can find out where he placed. Picked up some rock straps at JT Motorsports earlier. Rusty showed me how to use them. Broke a buckle on my old school Nelson rig back tail pack, so had to get a little creative here. Rusty, I'm glad to see you're making yourself useful finally.
Well, you know, somebody's got to have. I got to have some value to this little.
He did tell some good stories earlier, Pete.
Yeah, he did.
Unfortunately, I wasn't recording at that point in time. I don't know if Rusty actually wanted me to record those stories.
We can do a podcast.
All right, yeah, we'll talk about that when we have you and Mike/Bob on.
Blue and Rock, North Carolina, singing with the band. I could just stay down there. I got offers to just hang with some people. I'm a local now. I might have to go back.